Hey everyone, it's Rebecca Undum, your groove finder, and I'm also a rural America expert. So I am a farmer's daughter turned farmer's wife, mom of 3 little kiddos, and it'll be close to 8 years now, we recently made the decision to move back to our rural North Dakota community of Oaks, and it's Oakes. Please don't spell it just like the plural of the tree. Happens all the time. But it's Oakes, Oaks, North Dakota. And since then, we've had our children here. And my life is dedicated to preserving the beauty that exists in living in rural America. And it has taken me about this whole amount of time to really see it. And I'm going to share a little bit about why, but really what I want to get through today is just my top 5 reasons for choosing to live in a small community. And why, what the benefits really are, okay? So number 1, you literally have a village of people. So there's an African proverb, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, in a small town, you actually have a village of people that look out for you. So I grew up here, and I had the blessing of growing up with 3 sets of grandparents. So I had my maternal set, my paternal set, and then this 3rd set that really, truly were not related to us. They lived less than a mile down the gravel road from my home. And she, the woman, watched us, Grandma Karis, watched us when we were growing up and my mom worked in the summers. I called her Grandma Karis. She is not related to me. And she let me call her that. And she held that title in my heart and in my life the whole time. They are our family to us. I can't really express the incredible gift of being loved by somebody that just simply chooses to, instead of having to because they're related. And that's what a small town gives you. It gives you a village of people that look out for you. Okay, number 2, I love that in a small town growing up here. So this is now kind of more from the perspective of me as a child, but I could try lots and lots of things. So I was involved in 4-H. And I didn't show livestock. If you want to know more about this whole story, you should pick up my book. It's coming out in May. It's called How Mommy Got Her Groove Back. And obviously there'll be, if you go to my website, which I'll link to in this video, you'll see that you can actually sign up to get the earliest copies of it. So check it out. But I was in 4-H, didn't show livestock. I was in music, and I was in drama, and I was a basketball player. And it's like all these things, you can just try out lots of different things. And it's not about being the best at it. You get to explore in a small community because as a small town, you don't have enough kids to support just like stellar, high quality people in every single thing. Although I really do think that our community school, we do a really great job of turning on amazing talent. We've got very talented kids. But it isn't about specializing. And so with that, kids learn and they grow and they can try all sorts of things. And that's just something I didn't realize until I became an adult and moved back here. Number 3, it's so quiet in a small town. So, and I didn't really even see this or realize this until I would come home to visit my mom. So we lived out in the country, 5 miles out of town. When I would come from Fargo, the biggest city in North Dakota, where I lived, went to college, and I'd come home and it was like deafeningly quiet out on the farm. You can hear crickets and you can hear birds and you can hear nature. And even in the middle of the day here in Oaks, I can hear those things. I can hear animals over any other sound. And that's pretty phenomenal. And also just for us in North Dakota, if you haven't visited us, you should really come. It's super flat. And so the sky that you can see all of it. There's nothing obstructing our view of the sky. It's pretty incredible. Okay, number 3, that was number 3. Sorry, I made little notes so I didn't get off track. Number 4, so we had the village, exploration, and then nature. Number 4 is really just the intimacy. Now, I'm not going to lie. The intimacy can be a real challenge. There are days that I don't want to see anybody. There are days that I just want to bury my head in the sand and be sad or lonely or depressed or whatever it is that I'm feeling and not have to run into anybody. And that is not going to happen if I venture out of my door in my hometown. I'm going to see people I know. And so there are times that the intimacy of a small town can feel stifling. And as soon as in our small town, the second there's like a rumor of something going on, we got a mill and it churns out some pretty good stuff sometimes. But the truth is that intimacy, even though it can be challenging and frustrating and hard at times, it's the thing that makes this place so incredible. When things go wrong, when our family's having a hard time, when you're dealing with something, dealing with a loss, food shows up like by the truckloads, and generally in the form of a casserole. I always say like hot dish if you prefer. I prefer to call them a casserole. But food shows up, and because people love on each other. For me, when I had my baby, wine showed up. I think, you need to put it out there. If wine is what you'd rather have than a casserole, make sure you let people know that, and then they'll bring you wine. It's pretty awesome. But it's this amazing way that we support one another, and ultimately, even more than the food and the casseroles, it's the prayers. You know that everybody in your small town is praying for you. Everybody prays for each other. Everybody supports each other. No matter how much we might get into each other's business when we shouldn't, at the end of the day, that intimacy is what allows that kind of support and connection. It's just simply incredible. And the fifth and final, this is really just as a mom, is the freedom that my children have. The freedom that I feel as a mom. I literally never worry about their safety, except when my son rides his motorized gator out onto like near the highway, which happened right before Easter. And then on Easter Sunday, one of our friends was like, car was a little close to the highway. But it's because my kids don't really watch for traffic. Not only is there not a lot of traffic, given that we only have one stoplight, people watch out for our children. Our children aren't really trained to watch out for cars. So yeah, when we take them to like bigger cities, yes, it's absolutely a challenge for me to like remind them that no, not everybody's looking out for you. But that freedom of just running and being carefree and not worrying so much about strangers and about dangers and about things that can happen to them, it is an incredible gift. So those are my 5 reasons. I would love to hear yours, what I missed about living in a small town and working in a small town. But I will just say this. You want to talk about more of this? Have me come to your small community. Like I said, I'm going to put the link to my website in this video on the post. But I speak to people that live and work in rural America, and it's because I want us to be around. Mainstream media is doing a great job of telling us that we're dying. Okay, and you know what? I don't know, that might be true, but when I look around, that's not what I see. And I want to be part of the change that keeps us here. So, talk to me, everybody. Let me know, my rural America friends, what do you love about living in your small town? Have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Groove on.